Hello everyone and welcome back to Closet Gaming. Today I used the chance to visit the arcade here in the city I live in. I spent about an hour trying out different games and the general fear for VR at its current state. More specifically, I tried the HTC Vive. So first of all, I'd like to talk about how exactly the headset felt. Because whether you like it or not, how the headset feels, especially after a prolonged gaming period, is very important. And it did feel pretty good, though I don't understand why the straps on the head were so short. They didn't really encompass my head fully, and the guy who runs the place said this is how they should be. Otherwise, for the first feeling, it was okay. The image was sharp and the depth was certainly there as well. The only real problem with the headset was the fact that after a while, I did start to sweat in it. Though the fact that it is the summer right now did certainly have its role in it as well. For the headphones, I don't really have much to say. Better ones could have certainly improved the experience, but they did work pretty well, and since you're moving a lot anyways, and a lot of the sounds get sort of muffled behind that movement, they did perform. And lastly, we have the controllers. They did feel really natural in hand, and the triggers for shooting and the touchpads were very natural to use. But the buttons on the side and above and under the touchpad felt a bit harder to reach, though that probably gets better as you get more used to them. Now it's time to talk about the games I got to play. The first game I tried was Serious Sam. I decided to play this one first because I played the old Serious Sam games and I was hoping that I would give a bit of an idea how it compares to them. Essentially, you stand in one place and shoot at stuff. I could imagine playing this thing down on the couch without that many issues, but otherwise, it was a bit boring to be honest. The second game was Space Pirate Trainer. Bit similar to Serious Sam, but I will admit that the shooting did feel much better here. And on top of that, here you can actually dodge and block projectiles coming your way, making the game feel that much more interactive. Compared to the Serious Sam game, this one was miles ahead. The third game was Richie's Plank Experience. A pretty fun game where I got to experience the feeling of flying around the town, very similar to Iron Man. And this was the only game where I actually felt dizzy a bit, especially when I was flying really close to the ground, making the immersion that much more real. But the graphics, which are sort of like comic-like, allowed me to keep my composure. The second to last game I got to try out was Raw Data. A combination of a tower defense game, first-person shooter, and a teleportation game. I had the most fun while playing this, as the shooting felt like you actually needed to aim, yet it wasn't as hard as in the last game. The fact that you must learn to teleport around not to die easily and defend the core made it felt really nice. On top of that, the graphics were just awesome as well. The last game I tried was Arizona Sunshine. This game was certainly the prettiest of the bunch I played, meaning that it was the one with the highest fidelity graphics. Also, the shooting felt the most realistic and thus the hardest. But I didn't really get much of this game, to be honest, only about 10 minutes, since then I had to leave as the next group of customers was coming in. So, what do I think? In general, I had a pretty good time. I already expressed my sentiment that VR arcades are probably the way to go for at least the next few years, since the space requirements are currently a bit too high for the average person. Not to mention the pretty high price point, especially when you take the powerful PC you need into consideration. Though, I was a bit sad that there weren't any space sims available at this arcade, because I would have loved to try those out. What I think needs to get solved for the moment are better materials on the headsets, so sweating doesn't feel that noticeable, especially in warmer weather. And headphones with surround sound should be an industry standard. Then, of course, getting the headsets to a completely wireless form would be very nice. But here, we have to wait a bit longer as batteries aren't still at the point where this would work without having to wear a backpack full of batteries. Well, that's it for today, guys. Hope you liked the video, and if you did, please consider liking and subscribing, or upvoting and following if you're seeing this on Steam. See you guys later with more gaming content.